welcome to another Craftyhallett video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these little chaps. This is my luggage collection and I make them in all sorts of different sizes. So this is the trunk that's got some labels on it, and it opens as a box and you can put all sorts of things in there. It's quite deep. So I use these when we're going away as little gifts for my roommates because they'll have toiletries and little bits and bobs in them. They look quite cute. And then this one is again quite a smaller one. It's just a matchbox sort of size. In terms of size, it's about 10 centimeters by 6 centimeters by about 1.5 centimeters deep. So I'm going to show you how to make the small one today. We're going to start with a piece of crumb cake, which is a 6-inch square, and you're going to need your envelope punch board, which is here. And then you are going to be doing something that looks a little bit different to an envelope, so don't panic if it all starts to go wrong. You're going to start at 2, punch and score, rotate, line up at 3, punch and score, line back up at 2, punch and score, rotate again and line up at 3 and punch and score. And now for the next one, you're going to see this score line here that you made initially. You're going to line the pointy bit up with that score line, so it's on 3 now, and punch and score, and go round again and line up here with this line and punch and score. And again, you're going around on all 4 sides, punching and scoring as you go. Punch and score. And this is your base box. And then on the shorter sides here, I'm just going to, snip up to make little tabs. Here and here. And now I need to score all my lines because you want nice crisp lines. And I'm just using the edge of the score tool. Or if you've got a bone folder, you can do it with that as well. Doesn't really matter, but it is important to get these lines nice and crisp. And score there. And then on this one, I'm going to do the same. Score down and score along. Now, to make the box, you would just put these little bits in here, but we're just going to do something to make a tab. So fold this one over, and you want to make a little sort of hole tab so that you can pull it out. So if you can see here, I've folded those tabs in so they don't accidentally get in the way, and this is the short side, and I'm just going to line it up roughly in the middle. You can see that it'll have sort of equidistant bits poking out each side, and then just punch down. And obviously, as you're going through 2 layers of card, that will be harder to do. But that's just giving us a little notch, and that'll make it easier to pull out the box. You could put one at each end if you want. I'm just putting one at one end because it makes life easier. Now, to get these box bits folded in properly, can you see that I've pushed that bit down? And now I'm going to fold it over on itself, and I'm going to score it again, so that that stands up with that little bit stuck down. And I'm going to do the same again on this side. So you fold it over, score it once, fold it on its little bit there, and score again. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to fold it once there, and then I'm going to fold it back on itself and score it there. So that holds that little bit in place. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So fold it on the first upper score line, fold it back across, and score all the way down. So this is your box base, pretty much good to go. Now, in terms of glues to use for this, I'm going to be using 2 types of glue, but I'm going to use Tombow on this little bit, just because it gives me a little bit of wriggle room when I'm putting the box together. And I'm just going to glue little bits on the tabs first and bring up my box sides without putting the inside bit in, and then I'm just going to make sure that I've lined up the corners nicely, and then just hold it together with the Tombow. A few seconds is all it needs just to hold it in place. Don't want to have it any longer than that. because otherwise it won't come together and the glue will dry and then it will be not working properly. Hang on. Here we go. That's better. Let's just hold those together for a minute. Okay, so now to finish the rest of my box, I'm just going to put some glue on these corner pieces, some glue on the inside, because this all goes on itself. So there we go. And I'm going to bring the shorter ones in first, she said optimistically. There we go. Short ones in first, making sure I trap the little tabs in, and then the longer ones in. Now, there we go. All finished, all done. So that is your base box. Now, if you wanted to, this might be a good point to put a liner in here. So if you wanted to put fabric or a piece of design scrapbook paper or something cute inside, that would be your time to do it. I'm just going to pop that base to one side and just let it dry. And then I'm going to take a piece, which is the bit that goes around the outside, which is a wrapper. And this needs to be, let me just check that I've measured this correctly with my ruler that's running away. Yes, 6 7/8 by 3 3/4. And then we're going to take our trimmer and we're going to, now shall we try again? We're going to be lining up at 3/4 and we're going to score. Then we're going to take it across to 3 1/4. There was my mistake last time. And we're going to take it to 4. And we're going to take it to 6 1/4. There, you see, that looks so much better already, doesn't it? Now, if we now take the bone folder or the tool from the envelope punch board, we can score our lines and just double check that it does fit, because there's always those embarrassing moments. Now, you don't want to have this too tight because we're going to be putting the little corner pieces on and they add bulk. So you really don't want to add those now at this moment. So I'm not going to do this up just yet. I'm going to show you how to do the corner pieces. Now you need to punch out quite a few, I think it's 16 of these little circles. And here they are. It's a 3 3/4 inch punch. And the way that I do this is I fold them in half with my fingers, open them back up again, and then fold them in half the other way so that I've made quarter score lines. So you can see that it's scored on all quarters. And then I'm just going to choose 1/4 and cut up as far as the middle so that you basically are making, when it flaps in on itself, that kind of shape. Okay, so welcome back. My short sojourn. I can show you what I've done. I've put the corners onto all 4 corners of the box. If you look here, I've been using the adhesive transfer sheets to glue these because it's cleaner and drier than messing around with wet glue, especially on something so little and fiddly. So if you've not tried these transfer sheets, I do recommend you have a look at my video I did on glues, which was fascinating. But did tell you all about how to use these sheets. So just going to pick off the last one of these little circles and then just show you how I put them on. So I start with a pokey tool because it's easier than trying to pick up something that's gluey. I put where the slit is on first. I then smooth over half a circle and then the full main circle. And that is then your corner piece attached and done on all 4 corners of the bottom box. And then for the wrapper, make sure that when you put the wrapper on, you don't resist the temptation to make it too tight. So for putting the corners onto the wrapper, again, similar process. We're just going to take one of these circles that we've trimmed off, and this time you are going to have to touch it a little bit, lay it on, and try and get the cut on the inside, just because it looks neater and makes the corner tighter. So and then this is the final one going on. There we go. So that's my little suitcase, but of course if you look on my original you can see I've got little luggage straps and a little handle. So how do you make those? I have cut from the same chocolate chip cardstock, 3 little strips. These are 1/4 inch wide, and they're 8.5 inches long. And using your snail adhesive, because you're not holding much weight, just run the snail runner all the way down 2 of the strips. It does make it easier just for adding them on afterwards. Then start at whatever's going to be the bottom of your case, and that's where that join line is on the wrapper. And place it about, I don't know, 1 centimetre away. And then keeping it nice and straight, just with your thumb, smooth it round the wrapper of the box, all the way around. And then when you get back to the middle piece, oops, to the bottom, you should line up. If not, you can quickly rip it off and make it do it properly. That's sealed on that side, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to go all the way across. Okay, so now I can hear you asking, how do I do the handles? Okay, so the handle is just a piece, and you can, depending on how wide across, I'm not going to give you a measurement because you just need to measure it. Measure it to be about 1/4 inch on each side longer than the gap between the two. And then you're going to just put a blob of sticky strip or snail on each end for about 1/4 inch. And then don't fold this, just curve it gently like this in your fingers so that you get a bend, and then push up the 1/4 inches that are sticky, and they now then stick onto the top of your suitcase like that, and that is your handle. Now the tags, it's entirely up to you how you do them. I used Take the Ticket for this one and just did 3 of them, punched out and tied them on with a bit of twine. On this one I used Away We Go from the Around the World set with a slightly larger chocolate chip circle underneath, mounted them on a foam pad and tied them on. To do the little studs, there's lots of ways you can do them depending upon the size of the box you're making. So these studs here are the ones that are for little coloured candy dots, and can you see that I've coloured it in because I didn't want it silver. I used one of the chocolate chip blendabilities, not this one, this is yellow, but I used one of the chocolate chip blendabilities to colour it in. Equally for this one, because it's so tiny, I'm not going to be using those. You could use the teeny tiny brads, they work quite well. Again, colour them in if you don't like them silver, but I'm going to show you what I've been doing with the pearls and a blendability, which makes life a lot easier. If I could only find what I've done with the blendability. Ah, here we go. It's here. So I am using the dark mocha blendability, which comes in the skincare set, which it doesn't really matter which one you use. And I want quite big studs on this one, so I'm just going to colour in a row of them on my jewel basic pearls, and then using a pokey doll, just going to lift one up and place them at intervals. And then for the top you want to cover up the handle, so again you're going to put 1 or 2 on the handles. This one's not wanting to come up. Come on you, that's it, lovely. And that is your case finished. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do come and check my blog for more ideas on how I've made these in larger sizes. Just to tell you quickly on this one, I started with an 8x8 square of card, and I punched at 2 and 3, and then I just adjusted the wrapper accordingly, and I used a 1-inch circle for the corner pieces and a slightly wider